Well, hey, friend. We're finally working on the podcast room. It is a hot mess and I just can't concentrate in there right now. So, greetings from my sunroom. All right. So, last week we talked about all the crazy changes that Instagram did, and some people are very upset. We just got to roll with it, right? I think the dust has settled. Everyone's fine now. We got our grids. Everything's cool. So I did test out a longer reel. Last night I actually posted it. It is right at the 2-minute mark. So far, it's almost at 30,000. And again, it's only been up about 14, 15 hours. That's about typical for me. I'm usually about 30, 40,000 views within 24 hours typically. And then they go up from there. So I'm not saying anything drastic, but I'll keep an eye on it. And I'm probably going to do one more that's a little longer and see how they do. So just kind of fun experiment. And let's talk about what the reel was about, because I'm doing another one today because you guys, as we ended 2024, I was like, oh my gosh, the nonsense has died down. There really hasn't been so much noise with crazy advice that makes no sense, right? That social media managers and marketers who have been doing this forever, we're all DMing each other like, who is saying this stuff? I get DMs all day long being like, hey, so-and-so said hashtags are no longer, or any content with hashtags isn't being pushed out anymore. That's the DM I got. So I did a reel on that last night, which was about 2 minutes long. You guys, I've had 2 reels go viral in the past few weeks. Both had 8+ hashtags. If hashtags were ruining reach, then that wouldn't have happened. So let's talk hashtags first, right? This is the big rumor that hashtags, okay. And guess what? If Instagram phases out hashtags, you'll hear it from me first and Adam Mosseri first. Years ago, as a social media manager, this stuff would float and my clients would send it to me and be like, Shannon, let's stop doing this because so-and-so. And I'm like, you guys, I'm the one managing 10+ accounts of different industries. Trust me, they're lying. I've been dealing with this so long that I'm finally I'm just done. So I have take it upon myself for years to debunk myths. And now I'm on a rampage, if you will, because I'm just like, everyone is on edge right now. Everyone is stressed out. And then you guys want to come on here and spread these lies on Instagram and distract people from actual marketing strategies. And I was also like, we're talking hashtags. Like hashtags are like the least of people's worries. With that said, I did some digging on Threads, asking people what they thought. Have they noticed anything with hashtags? And I know for me, most of my Instagram accounts I still manage, meaning I'm the one behind the account, not the business owner. Both are hyper local. Those local hashtags help so much because one, it helps the algorithm know who to push it out to, and it just helps categorize it. And anyone searching hashtags, they'll see it. So I advise to continue using hashtags. So what people said was, yeah, some people said I stopped using hashtags and my reach got better. But here's the thing that I always tell people, we can never definitively say it was because of the hashtag or it was because of this. Maybe your hooks got better. Maybe the keywords got better, right? But here's the thing. Someone chimed in and was like, I think what it is, and I think this person is right. He said the people who stop using them and are starting to see more reach were probably not using hashtags correctly to begin with. So now it's helping. And I was like, that actually makes so much sense. Years ago, we used to call them niche hashtags, right? We really doubled down on niche hashtags. This is back in like 2019-ish. And you wanted smaller hashtags and you would maybe throw in 2 large ones. Like that was my mathematical equation for myself. Like I would do 20 hashtags and I try to make like 80% of them really niche. I'd throw in a couple medium-sized ones, meaning like around 500,000 posts. And then over 1 million, I'd throw in like 2 or so. Because back then, you guys, it was not an even playing field. Only the big time creators were actually getting seen. So us little guys were fighting for our lives to get in the news feed, the Explore page back then. Now we have a lot more opportunity to get in front of people because of Reels. But so the niche hashtags are where we kind of lived to kind of grow our followings. Anyway, that's how it was. Now you kind of actually, large hashtags, it was like 3 years ago, they announced like, oh, large hashtags now, smaller creators will be seen in large hashtags. Because what it used to do is like rate them by, anyway, I won't bore you with the details. It works totally different now. If you know, you know. If you've been growing since then, you know. What you want to do you don't have to worry about the size of the hashtag as much as you used to. Like you really used to have to worry about that. Like if it was oversaturated, you were kind of like, no, especially if you were less than 10,000 followers, you're like, no, I'm not going to show up there. Now it's okay. My shift in hashtag strategy a couple years ago was I would use Instagram ones, social media ones, content creation ones, small business ones. But it didn't matter if they were less, if they were tiny, small, whatever. So what I do now is if my Instagram reel or carousel is about growing on Instagram, my hashtags are Instagram growth, IG growth, how to grow on Instagram, Instagram strategist, Instagram strategy, Instagram marketing, right? If it's about Reels, my hashtags are hashtag Reels tips, hashtag Reels tip strategy. I make sure that my hashtags are very niche to the reel itself. And I will do this sometimes because again, I like to test stuff. I'll throw in social media marketing. But I'm like, no, I think that's the big thing. You want it to be so specific. So it's like, what are the words that someone would be searching for that reel. If you're a nutritionist and you're making a dinner, I would do protein, high protein dinner. Let's see, actually, let's have some fun. Nerding out. Here I go. I typed in the search, high protein, 2.8 million views. I would use it. Back 5 years ago, I would have been like, too big. Isn't that funny? Changes. But hashtags still work the same way. You use them to search, etc. High protein meals, high protein diet. Those are ones I would use because if my reel is about a high protein thing, that's going to be my hashtags. And then I'll throw in like maybe your hook also said as a mom of four, mom hacks, like whatever it is, right? I really hope that makes sense. Obviously, especially if you're on YouTube, like comment away. Like I love answering questions over there, or shoot me a DM if you have questions. But that's what I mean. Same as you want to focus on keywords on screen, verbally, your script, quote unquote, your real script, your caption, your carousels. You want those to be keyword rich. And I get a lot of questions about keywords. So let me just talk about them for a second. Let's say you're building a business. Actually, I'm going to find a really high performing reel and we're going to talk about the hashtags. All right, got it. He is a healthcare. It says on his hook, and I'll send this to Steph, so it's in the show notes so you guys can look. Because again, if hashtags were an issue, this reel wouldn't have done as well as it did. It has 88,000 likes, 32,000 shares. In the hook, it says over his head, things I'll never do as a level 1 trauma healthcare worker. So he's giving advice on like things he wouldn't advise people do. Ready? So obviously those are keywords. Healthcare, trauma, right? This helps the algorithm understand what his video is about. His caption then says, ambulance, has the word ambulance, blah, blah, blah. So again, little keywords. So now the algorithm knows this is about your health. Okay. Hashtags, EMS, hashtag trauma hospital, hashtag emergency medicine, hashtag emergency room, hashtag healthcare professional, hashtag ER nurse, hashtag ambulance, hashtag hospital life. He didn't do hashtag pediatrician because he's not talking to children and parents. He's talking to adults in this one. And here's another one, 15,000 likes, sending it to Steph. It says on the screen, guess how tall our kitchen ceiling is? And then they kind of go through a whole story of what they did with their kitchen, okay? What are keywords there? If I am redoing my house, so going back to the healthcare guy, if I'm someone who's been searching health-related stuff, Instagram is possibly going to show me that reel because it knows it's looking at everything we're looking at. It's also going to show it to people in his field and they're going to comment and engage with it too to give their 2 cents, right? So this one for the interior designer, tall ceilings, keyword. So if I am renovating a house or trying to figure out how to decorate and I search tall ceiling, this likely could pop up. That's what I mean. So what are people searching for? You want to make sure those words are in your hook. They're in your caption. They're in your script. Okay. So lastly, she had 15,000 likes. Let's see. Hashtags, kitchen design, kitchen details, cream kitchen, marble kitchen, hashtag heart of the home, hashtag colonial style, hashtag colonial home. She has some extra ones that when you look at the design of this home and the purpose of her page, which is colonial style, it all tells the algorithm what this account and post is about. So now she threw in definitely a few extra ones. So again, it just shows you, don't be scared to test. Don't be scared to see what hashtags do best for you. You want to use 3 hashtags? Cool. You want to use 15 like she did and like I typically do it. The biggest thing, guys, is all these things are out there to just distract you. Do what's best for you. The second thing I've been hearing is that someone actually wrote that stories are dying. LOL. I'm posting reel today. It will be up by next week and I'll make sure Steph has it in the show notes to break it all down. So here's what I want you to do. If you're still unsure about keywords in your field, things like that, which is again why I stress specificity so much on this podcast and on Instagram and everywhere else. I stress specificity because it helps the algorithm, but it also grabs attention to your audience. If you want to lean on things like ChatGPT, say, actually, let's do it right now. I'm curious. I'm going to say ChatGPT, what are keywords? And I wouldn't just say for home design. Got it. All right. I typed in, what are some keywords for kitchen design? I got, this is fun. I got modern kitchen design, contemporary kitchens, rustic kitchen ideas, minimalist kitchens. So again, you can make a list of all these so that you have these words. They also have features and elements keywords, kitchen island ideas, backsplash trends. Know all the keywords in your niche. So I also like to go to TikTok to find keywords. So literally just search your niche. But I think the best place to start, especially if you're just starting out and you're like, I don't know where the keywords are, what are people searching? And lean on ChatGPT for it. Go to TikTok. And as long as you have a good mix of keywords in your captions, your hooks, all that, and a mix of hashtags, the algorithm is going to know exactly what your content is about and it's going to show it to more people who are interested in that content. Remember, it used to be a more so relationship-based feed. It is in a way still, but it's definitely more interest-based now. That's why when I'm scrolling Explore, scrolling the Reels, how it's a bunch of things to do in North Carolina with your family. It's a bunch of food. It's like stuff I'm interested in. And let me end with this. I was hosting a training for a membership earlier this week. And someone asked, like, I'm scared to engage with stuff outside of my niche. I don't want to mess up the algorithm. And I hate that people have spread these silly rumors that if you engage with stuff outside of your niche, the algorithm is going to punish you and not show your stuff to your people. My Explore page is based on what I'm interested in. It is food. It is toddler mom humor. It is reality show gossip and Jimmy Fallon. It is coats I can buy. It's a mom eating Chipotle, making a joke. More girl mom stuff, Valentine's sweaters at Target. Is any of that Instagram? Is any of that marketing? But my content goes out to people who want marketing. Our algorithms are trained to show us content we want to see and engage with because they want to keep us on the app. Your hashtags and your keywords work together to tell the algorithm what your content is about so it shows it to the right people. Hashtags are not dead. And the moment they are, I will be the first to let you know. I promise. Hashtags are not ruining your post. If you do find that your content does better without them, then don't use them. If you're like me and hashtags have helped you for years, I can't tell you how many times people have told me they found me through a hashtag. Keep using them. I found my hairdresser through a hashtag. I found my bookkeeper through a hashtag. I found our house painter through a hashtag. I found my business partner through a hashtag. Like, I get a little upset when people say they're not working. So there you go. That's the story on hashtags. And of course, come back next week. I'll have more ideas for you. We'll be doing heavy on what content's working in stories, the feed, TikTok. Thanks for listening to me rant about hashtags. But I am telling you, friend, I hope you took something away, whether it's hashtags, keywords. Your people are out there. They want to find you. So this is a really good thing to start studying and understanding. And I hope this helped you. Love you, friend. Mwah.